You are not alone. So, more than 80% of the adult population of the Western world drinks alcohol. More than 80% of those people have a problem with it. And 80% of them will never admit it. The first thing you should be proud of is that you have taken a step that most people will never have the courage to take. You have admitted that you are worried. Not only that, but you have paid your hard-earned money and put your trust in my system to help you regain control of your drinking. I can't express this strongly enough. This small act puts you in the top 20% of people. Admitting that you have a problem effectively means you are already 50% of the way down the road to a full recovery. But stop. Before you break open the champagne, or whatever is your chosen brand of attractively packaged poison, let me give you a word of warning. Despite what you've been told in the past, knowledge is not power, but rather knowledge is only potential power. If you do nothing with it, it's just useless data. And the shocking fact is that 20% of people who buy a self-help book, DVD or course such as this one will never listen to a word of it. They'll never put the DVD in the player or open the book to the first page. It's as though the act of buying the book was good enough for now. It's a similar act of procrastination of all those people who proudly announce that the diet starts Monday. Surely, if they were really committed to losing the weight, the diet would start immediately. The diet always starts Monday because it's a free license to eat like a pig all weekend, while lying to yourself that you have all the good intentions in the world to repair the damage come Monday. By the way, the reason that diets don't work for 95% of people who use them is diets also rely on willpower, and so they make you unhappy and fat, which is why they have a hidden secret warning in the first 3 letters of the word diet. Now that you've started on this monumental journey, do not stop. Neither should you skip forward and try and find the secret or quick fix to your problem. You did not go to bed one night in control of alcohol and then wake up the next morning an alcoholic. This drug has taken years, sometimes even decades, to alter physical pathways in your brain. There is no quick fix. But that doesn't mean it has to be painful or that you need to suffer. The old adage of no pain, no gain does not apply here. And trying to fight your way out of this situation is actually why you failed to cut down in the past. It's going to take some effort on your behalf, and you may mess up every now and again. But you know what? It's no big deal. You're not a robot. As long as you keep working with me for the next 21 days, you're going to come out of this process stronger, cleaner, and happier than you've been in a long, long time. Unless, of course, you're still asking the question, do I have a problem with drinking? That really is the question I get asked more than any other. And if I had a penny for every email I'd had from people describing their habits and then asking, do you think I've got a problem? I would be well on my way to a very happy retirement by now. So let me answer that question for you by first translating it into what I believe people are really asking me. I like drinking, but I'm worried that I can't stop. Can you tell me that I don't have a problem and make the worry go away so I can carry on drinking? You have an unnatural relationship with alcohol, and that is why you are here. Normal or social poison drinkers don't ever think about their drinking habits, never mind search the internet for help and advice, or go as far as to purchase an audiobook like this. If you have to question your behavior around alcohol, it's the clearest sign you can get that alcohol has become a fixation. Try not to beat yourself up about this, because in reality, it's not actually possible for anyone to have a natural relationship with alcohol, because it is a toxin packaged in pretty bottles. The belief that anyone can be normal or a social drinker of a poison is a myth. How can it be possible to be a normal user of an addictive drug? If a friend confided in you that he was a glue sniffer, but he kept his solvent abuse strictly limited to the weekends, would you declare him to be a social glue sniffer? Replace the glue with heroin? Would your friend be a normal heroin user? Now, you may think that I'm going to extremes to prove a point here, but there are only 2 differences between alcohol and heroin, and the first is social acceptability. Alcohol, for some reason, is socially acceptable, and heroin is not. From birth, we're exposed to booze being portrayed in a positive light, a substance that we are happy to ignore the logic of and assume that it has some sort of smart technology behind it. Somehow, we believe that alcohol has the ability to make us more aware of positive emotions and feelings, and also at the same time claim it can also dampen down negative emotions and help us forget our problems. Only a substance that could change its chemical makeup could possibly achieve this. There is nothing intelligent about alcohol. Remember, this is the waste product of decaying vegetable matter, not a lab-designed smart drug. The second difference between alcohol and other Class A street drugs is all about time scale. It's very easy to become addicted to heroin in a short space of time because of the kick or withdrawal is condensed into a smaller time instead of the slow build-up of discomfort that you get from alcohol withdrawal. Heroin users get a massive and unbearable amount of pain in a relatively short space of time. And that's pretty much where the differences end. Both these drugs can and will try to kill you. They both will do significant permanent damage to your health, relationships, finances, and state of mind. And they will twist your perception dramatically enough to make you believe that while they're doing all this negative stuff, they are also in some way a benefit to you at the same time. I believe that alcohol is infinitely more deceptive than heroin because of the long, drawn-out way it drags the user into a trap. Alcohol dependency can take decades to reach its peak addiction. It creeps up on you so slowly, but for the longest time you have no idea that your drinking has become unusual. You are encouraged to look the other way and ignore the sleight of hand happening in your peripheral vision by society's love affair with this drug. This is illogical, and at your core, at your subconscious, you understand this. The single strongest human need is that of self-preservation. You have no control over this. Your core program is to stay alive at all costs. It's hardwired into every cell in your body. And every one of those cells knows that alcohol is extremely dangerous to you. The body constantly tries to warn you, but you've learned to see those warning signs as positives rather than negatives. We may go red in the face or start to sweat, and we lie to ourselves and see it as a sign of merriment. We lose our inhibitions, which are there to protect us, and we lie to ourselves and say that booze has boosted our confidence and self-esteem. We drink so much that the brain loses control of our ability to talk. Our speech becomes slurred, and yet we still don't see this as a warning sign that something is wrong. Our brains are misfiring so frequently and unpredictably that we can't walk straight, and yet we joke about it and post videos of it on YouTube. Eventually we get to the point where our body says, enough is enough, and it pushes the emergency button, which says, I must get this poison out of the system, and it forces you to throw up. Do we listen at this point? No. We lie to ourselves and say that it's a sign of a good night. Maybe the hangover should be a sign of the damage that we did, but no. We've been told over and over again since we were small that a hangover is natural. It's just what happens when you drink. Think about it. If you got the same feelings the day after you ate a piece of toast, would you ever eat toast again? Perhaps you're here reading these words because you're under duress. Maybe a concerned family member, friend or employer bought this audiobook for you. I can't tell you how many concerned partners I've met who are in relationships with people who resolutely insist that they don't have a problem with drink. But let me tell you that I am yet to meet a single one of these individuals that proves their partner wrong. Part of Alcohol Lied to Me is about helping you to understand how you got to where you are today and why we're all tricked and deceived by alcohol. How this poison is packaged up into attractive-looking bottles and marketed around the world with a multi-billion-dollar advertising campaign. Booze is the ultimate wolf in sheep's clothing, known to liver consultants and medical professionals around the world who diligently mop up our mess as the silent killer. Often before you know there's a problem, the damage is done.